ゲールゲール発砲ケケゾーうまかすくすくすーへいへいソースンさんおやペンペンぽえおいどろ
Thanks, Professor Gadd. Yeah, I'm working as an intern in Professor Gadd's lab now. All the toads kind of went back to the Mushroom Kingdom, and he needed a little bit of extra help, and I need a bit of extra money. So anyways, here we are at Professor Gadd's lab. That's what today's episode is going to be about. We're going to be exploring the lab, talking about the new Poltergeist, and we are also going to be talking about the Game Boy Horror Advance. Gadd's lab is a lot like Gadd's lab in Luigi's Mansion 3, where each screen represents something different and kind of acts as a menu that is not the pause menu. Each screen represents something different, like I said, so going over to the left, you can see the screen that says Map and Current Objectives, where you can, well, obviously check the map and the current objectives you have. Over to the right of that, you have the amount of treasure that you have. Below that is the main screen that has the menu, where you can save your game, go to the Scare Scraper, which will be mentioned in a later part, and you have the options and settings for the game. Up above that to the right, we have the shop, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then to the right of that, we have the Ghost Containment Unit, as well as some little blueprints we see above there, with some nice little references to other Mario games, including Mario Sunshine. But we also have the Ghost Containment Unit, where there are obviously the ghosts that you capture, as well as the paintings of the human ghosts you capture. In this game, the lab is actually in a trailer that attaches to the back of Professor Gadd's car that we've seen in Luigi's Mansion games prior. And obviously, since Professor Gadd was one of the people captured, as mentioned in the story part, you won't have access to this lab until after the first area. So besides the shop, that's really all I have to show off about the lab, but before we go into the shop, I do want to talk about the Poltergeist and the Game Boy Horror Advance. Starting with the Poltergeist, this is the image that you guys have seen quite a bit throughout my time talking about Luigi's Mansion 4 concepts. And I love this design, and I have kept the design, but I wanted to add a little more detail to it and make it just a little bit better looking. So, here is a good look at the Poltergeist Ultima base model. Now, when I say base model, it means that this is the Poltergeist without any upgrades and without any kind of decoration, which I'll talk about decoration in a little bit. I've added 2 slots on the side of the Poltergeist, which are also on the other side, which is obviously hidden, and those you'll see what they're for later. But I've also added a little Gadd emblem at the bottom and a green light instead of the blue one that's on the old one, meaning that there is currently no elementals selected. And yes, the light on the Poltergeist will reflect what the elemental you have equipped is. Speaking of elementals, the 2 little slots on the side of the Poltergeist are for the medals that you collect throughout the game. There are 4 elemental medals you find throughout the mansion, each one of them letting you use a certain elemental with the Poltergeist. There's fire, water, ice, and earth. Whenever you collect a medal, your Poltergeist will be able to use each elemental for either a certain period of time with the fire, water, and ice elementals, or be able to shoot out a certain amount of rocks with the earth elemental. Using these elementals in interesting ways are basically required for you to do puzzles throughout the game. But like I said, for these elementals to work, you need elemental medals. Well, let's get those medals into the slots and see what our new upgraded Poltergeist will look like with all of the medals inside. So here you have it, guys. As you can see, the medals are inserted on the side of the Poltergeist. You can see the fire and water on one side, and you can see a little bit of the earth on the other side, but the ice elemental is behind that. And like I mentioned, the light changes whenever you switch elementals, and rather than like in the original game where you had to find a piece of fire or water somewhere in the mansion for you to equip that elemental, now switching between the elementals is as simple as a press of a button. So here's the Poltergeist Ultima with the fire elemental equipped, as you can tell by the red light. This blue light indicates that the water elemental is equipped. This very light blue one indicates that the ice elemental is currently equipped. And then this brown elemental indicates that the earth and ground element has been equipped. Now going back to this shot of the Poltergeist Ultima, if you look closely, you'll see that there are these little cartridges inserted in these 4 slots on the Poltergeist. And if you really got fine eyes, you can tell that they are Game Boy Advance cartridges. These are upgrade cartridges. You can upgrade your Poltergeist to do basically whatever you want as long as you have the upgrade cartridge. Without these cartridges, the Poltergeist Ultima is just the base version, just being able to look around with your flashlight and suck ghosts up, no cool fancy upgrades. You can get these upgrades in the shop, and we will talk about what these upgrades are in a little bit when we talk about what you can get in the shop. Now, I think this Poltergeist looks pretty cool, a lot better than what I originally had envisioned for it, but it still does look a little naked in some ways. And I think, especially for multiplayer purposes, having a Poltergeist that is a little bit more customizable is something really, really cool. And since there's a lot of blank space, I thought this would be an interesting idea. Whoa, look at these! These are some pretty cool stickers. So yes, in Gadd's shop, you can buy stickers that you can place on your Poltergeist. I'll show them more up close in a little bit, but this is how fully you can customize your Poltergeist. Now noted, I could have put more stickers on here, or I could have put less on here. It's for you to express yourself as a Luigi's Mansion fan. And some stickers are acquired not by the shop, but by completing certain objectives, like this one, which is completed by catching all of the boos in the game. So there you have it, guys. That is the Poltergeist Ultima, and I really hope you like it. So now that we're done talking about the Poltergeist Ultima, let's actually quickly stop into the shop now that we know some of the things that you could buy from it. Well, firstly, just like in Luigi's Mansion 3, you can purchase golden bones. These golden bones will summon Polterpup to revive you if you have knocked yourself out. These are a returning thing from Luigi's Mansion's Dark Moon and 3, and are a welcome addition to have back. The next thing I want to show you are the stickers. Now, I haven't created too many of these stickers. These stickers are created by me, but here are just a few of them that you can get to customize your Poltergeist. Lastly are the upgrade cartridges. I've created 5 just to kind of give you a little taste of how you can upgrade your Poltergeist. Firstly is the strobe bulb. Now yes, the strobe bulb wouldn't be something that you have automatically, but it's an upgrade that you can attach that makes it so that you can stun many more ghosts at once. Next up is the burst, which is an already existing move from Luigi's Mansion 3 that you can use to repel ghosts that are getting too close to you and just give yourself a little bit of air. There's an upgraded dark light ability that lets you use your dark light for longer. I know in Luigi's Mansion 3, the use of your Dark Light was unlimited, but in this game, I would actually bring it back to Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, where you can only use it for a certain amount of time, and you can get this upgrade to make it longer. For those of you who like simple combat gameplay, the Slam is also another upgrade you can use, making ghost combat a lot easier, as you can just slam the ghost wherever you want to. And lastly, we have the upgraded vacuum. This vacuum takes away health faster from the ghosts, so it's easier to take them out. These are just some of the upgrades that you can use on the Poltergeist Ultima. Now, keep in mind that the Poltergeist Ultima only has 4 upgrade slots, meaning that you can only have 4 equipped at a time, so you have to choose which upgrades you want, and you can change them, so you can buy more than 4 and change them out whenever you want. Alright, so that's it with the shop, and hold on, you guys.
Oh yeah, ororo, ottoma, ottoma, oyama.
Yes, Professor Gadd, I was just about to show them the Game Boy Horror Advance. So, I mean, you guys are seeing it now. Gadd, if you could hang up, we can get back to the home screen. Here we are, the home screen of the Game Boy Horror Advance. Now, here it's set up just like a Game Boy Advance games menu screen. Like, this should give you some Game Boy Advance game vibes. When you open up the Game Boy Horror Advance by a simple button press in the game, it brings you to this screen. Here you can look through the menu and select between seeing what portrait ghosts you've caught, how much treasure you have, getting Gadd's help hotline like there was in Luigi's Mansion 3, seeing the map of the mansion, seeing your achievements, as achievements would be returning from Luigi's Mansion 3DS Remake as well as Luigi's Mansion 3, and an extras menu where you can look at pictures you've taken. Yes, there would be a picture taking mode just like in games like Mario Odyssey, as well as music, as you can listen to the game's soundtrack through here. This home screen also shows you important details like your health, how many keys you have on you, and how many gold bones you have. I'm only going to show you a couple different screens because I feel like I don't really need to show you all of them. Let's go to what I think the treasure screen should look like. As you can see here, you see how many coins, bills, golden bars, and large and small pearls that you have. Now let me talk about the pearls for a second. They're going to function a little bit like they did in Luigi's Mansion 1, but slightly different. For those of you who don't know, how well you defeat a Poltergeist in the original Luigi's Mansion game dictated how many and what size of pearls you would get. For example, if you can get a Poltergeist to below 10 HP in just one tether, then you would get a large pearl. And you also get a bunch of smaller pearls along with it. But in this game, what I would do is you only get one pearl for each Poltergeist you catch. If you can get it below 50 HP, so taking out half of its health, before the ghost escapes, then you get a large pearl. If you can't do it, then you only get a small pearl when you defeat it. Gems return, and there's a whole abundance of them throughout the mansion. Just like in every other Luigi's Mansion game, there's loads of these gems for you to find in a bunch of hidden places, so definitely keep an eye out for them. And then at the very bottom, you can see 6 magnifying glasses. This indicates all of the clues that you find within Area 4. I decided to put them on the treasure screen with everything else because I believe that's pretty much how it was done in the original Luigi's Mansion. I thought it'd just be fitting to put them here and not really give it its own separate screen. Going back to the home screen for a second, looking to see where we can go next, I think I will show you the map on the Game Boy Horror Advance. At any time, you can pull this out and look at the map, see where you are in respect to the rest of the mansion. Now this map shows everything on the first floor. The map I showed you of the mansion only showed the inside, but here you get to see the outside. So there's a lot more detail on this map in terms of how much it will show, and I think it's pretty cool. Oh, Gadd's calling again. Sheesh, Gadd.
Yabo yabo, yamamba, yamamba, zo, unaka.
Yes, we're about done. I've basically finished showing everything off.
Suku suku, su, su, hey, hey, tekuru.
I know, I need to get back to work. I'll send these guys back off and we'll see them again next week.
Oidoro, odo, odo, oidoro, otoma, oyama.
Ugh, I swear I'm gonna get a better job someday. I promise you guys. If only YouTube ad revenue was a little bit better. But nonetheless, thank you guys for watching this third part of the Luigi's Mansion 4 concept series. Stay tuned because next week we're gonna get started on some of the ghosts, which I know a lot of you guys are very excited for. So, thank you all so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed. Comment, subscribe, like, all of that stuff down below. And hit that notification bell so you're notified of the next Luigi's Mansion part. Alright, I'm wrapping up. See you guys later.